Culture and Emergency Management by Paige Bellis. There are many definitions of culture. For this specific presentation, we will be looking at culture as a state or form of civilization. Informed culture versus uninformed culture. Informed cultures are aware of their surroundings, which can lead to effective emergency management. Uninformed cultures have a harder time staying informed because of the lack of infrastructure and skills. Informed cultures have many different outlets to become aware of disasters. Media and news provide a means of communicating the disaster. State and local governments provide people with information about the disasters. Government is critical in making sure that citizens are prepared for emergencies. Incident managers are sent to disaster scenes to direct response and recovery activities, monitor the recovery progress, and provide or reallocate recovery resources. State and local governments are critical to educating citizens on evacuation routes, shelters in their area, and what supplies are needed for certain disasters. Third-party organizations such as FEMA are also important because they provide relief to help once disaster strikes. The U.S. would be an example of an informed culture. U.S. citizens have the ability to prepare with supplies in advance, use proper building codes with new construction, and learn from previous disasters. News and media provide us with information to when hurricanes are going to strike, predict heavy rainfall that may cause flooding, and many other hazards. Citizens that live within an informed culture can make educated decisions on where they want to move based on the risks of that region. For example, when one moves to Florida, they know the risks of hurricanes. People that move to California assume the risks of earthquakes. Uninformed cultures and emergency management. Uninformed cultures do not have the means to be knowledgeable about disasters. Citizens are not equipped with plans and needed supplies when disaster strikes. Most uninformed cultures must ask for outside assistance when disaster happens. Because communication is lacking, help and assistance takes longer, causing more confusion and chaos. Example of uninformed culture. Emergency management in Thailand is an example of uninformed culture. The tsunami that hit in Thailand was devastating to the people because of the lack of communication and response to the disaster. A recent article written after the tsunami stated that a lack of technical infrastructure and skills in disaster risk and emergency response operations have resulted in insufficient and ineffective assistance. Also, local community participation is required for success. Official and scientific knowledge needs to be translated to be communicated to the public. A high level of trust can be achieved by disseminating disaster information via radio and megaphone to local communities. Just because a culture is informed does not mean that a disaster is not devastating and destructive. Citizens affected by disaster in informed areas are better equipped to receive assistance and experience a brief milling process. Informed cultures are also less likely to resort to looting and price gouging.